All right, I've welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, June 26, 2023. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, a bit of a slow day, but continued pullback. We did have a few kind of micro fireworks, I suppose, with the triple Qs, mainly led lower by NVIDIA. That is down 3% on the day, although it is coming decently off of the worst lows of the day, basically a back test of that 400 handle. And it did come out a week or so ago that there was some pretty heavy insider selling, taking some profits at these lofty valuations, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more of that going on here. Also, we don't have the buyback window, right? So that buyback window is still closed until, I believe, Friday. That is the last day of the month. So buyback window is closed, and they can't really kind of keep it propped up right now. So maybe a little bit more profit taking going on. There's also going to be end of month rebalancing all week, and a lot of these high flyers. I mean, if you take a look in the intraday, not so much NVIDIA, but you look at Apple, intraday, Amazon, Microsoft, right? Google, they all have the same kind of intraday pattern, like up in the morning, down, and then a little bit of a push towards the middle of the day. So those big tech names, let's look at Meta. Yeah, same thing. Big push up in the morning, and then a roll over, a little bit of a bounce, and then a continued roll over, now off the lows. So, and then you look at the Qs, same thing. Big push up in the morning, down, stopped here, and then a big flush, and now off the low. So again, it does look like some kind of algorithm going on there. Maybe some profit taking towards the end of the month, and a little bit of rollover there. Nice reversal there on Meta there, by the way, on the daily time frame. And again, if we look at NVIDIA there, again, testing that 400 handle and the 20-day moving average. So Q's under pressure here for once. It did look like it was going to be a typical outperformance day. They did a little bit of a pump and dump this morning. Typical Qs was up 0.5% at one point, over 0.5%, and now down almost 1% here on the day. So a little bit of a flipping of the script there. You see the Dow here up about 0.25%, the Russell up just about the same there, and then the spiders are fractionally lower, down just 12 basis points here as we get into the 340 time frame. So again, right now, nothing's really changed here as far as what we've talked about over the last couple of days, over the last week. This is kind of the area where we're looking at. Again, we're just flip over to an hourly here on the SPX. You got your hourly head and shoulders, and we've just kind of walked down, right? So our target, we're still looking for 4280 to 4300. You know, I think that can happen by the end of the week. Doesn't mean we won't bounce a little bit here and there. We did close below Thursday's low on Friday, so that is a sign of weakness. When you lose a breakout bar like that, a big power bar like that. And then, we have the 20 moving average there, so maybe that gets hit tomorrow. You could bounce up, but I do think we get into that 4,300 handle. If not, tomorrow, or not by the end of the week, then, maybe early next week. Seasonally, too, last week of June, especially after a big run-up, is usually kind of a weak period. So we'll see how that works out. Going into the holiday weekend, again, reminder, next Monday, markets are only open till 1 p.m., and then Tuesday they're closed. So this week, volume is going to dry up. I would say, it's already dry by now. It's 3:39 p.m. And we're at 46 million shares. That basically is holiday volume at this point. So volume very, very dry, and it's going to get drier, I would say, by Wednesday. So, generally you want to give the market a neutral to upside bias when volume is this light. Although, again, in this time period, we do tend to pull back a little bit more seasonally. So there's that too. There's that as well. If we get geopolitical news, then you could maybe get something else, something bigger. But right now, I can tell you right now, just from experience doing this a long time, the institutional traders are going to be they're going to be in the Hamptons, they're going to be in the mountains by, probably Wednesday afternoon. And it's just going to be, the underlings, the interns running the show. So there's not going to be much going on here. This is a week to kind of decompress if you can. But again, the targets are still the targets, and we'll reevaluate it if and when they get there. So that's what we're looking for there. Again, we'll see how we, react to that 20-period moving average there on the spiders and the SPX, but still think it wants to go test this kind of this consolidation breakout area there, at least on the daily. As for the Qs here, we are into the 20 moving average. It is somewhat minor, though. We're not, extended coming into it. Doesn't mean it can't hold, but we'll see what kind of pattern we get off of that. If we get through that, we'll look at 355 and then 350. on the downside potentially. Again, remember there is rebalancing going on towards the end of the month, so we could be seeing a little bit more pullback in some of these big tech names. IWM is up 0.75%. Financials doing okay today. XLF, it's green in a down tape. KRE is green in a down tape, up 2%. Still don't like the chart pattern, but that does help out the Russell quite a bit. And it needed an up day after that really ugly close Friday. So a pretty good breakdown on Friday. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce here. Again, you can see this previous trend line, 1, 2, essentially 3, 4. And then your kind of breakout area going into the breakout bar should get a bounce there. And that's what it's doing right now. We'll wait on pattern to see if this wants to do anything else. This can still potentially get to 192. It'd be, it's definitely harder now because we had a pretty good outside week down last week. But again, it's not technically broken currently. Now, if you lose this breakout bar, then it's back down to probably 174, 175. But right now, still in decent shape. The Dow here, again, holding the 50 moving average. I'm not sure what that one wants to do here. It is price cap weighted, so it does make it a little bit trickier. A little oversold. It's holding the 50 and the 20 for now, so we'll give it that. Let's just say near term, if we bounce, we'll look at 340 to 341. If it continues to pull back, probably into that 333 area. All right, SMH here. That is still fractionally higher here. AMD down, NVIDIA down, so rest of the pack sort of picking it up. You see Applied Materials up 3%, KLA 10 core up 1, Intel up 1 3/4. So getting a little bit of a bounce there. So sort of the leaders backing off a little bit, and then some of the other names getting a little bit of rotation here. Let's look at Qualcomm. Yeah, Qualcomm up 3.28%. So a little bit of a mixed bag there from the SMH. Again, was up earlier, up a little bit more earlier, did fade off the highs like everything else. We'll see if that wants to retest 144, 145. That's really all I've got for it at the moment. IGV getting a bounce as well off that 20, but then coming right back in. Now it's still holding it right there for now. If you get below there, there's a little bit of a gap around 328. There's another one at 330, so that would be kind of a short-term level. And then, of course, that pivot low around 320, 322 are the levels to watch. If it pushes up, double top's obviously going to be an area. I still think there's a lot of resistance up here with these pivots. We tested it. We're pulling back. And really, that's all we're going to leave it at. If you lose this green bar in a weekly close, though, that would definitely be a sign of weakness there. So watch that moving forward. Dow Transport's holding up really nice. In fact, this is a strong name right now, strong sector, up 1 3/4. Again, we've talked about this for a while. It could still get to 15.2. Nice green bar inside pattern, and it's getting a pop. You get above 15,000, it's going to go test 15.2. Pretty simple there. So transport's holding up just fine for now. Interest rates here, or I should say bonds, really fractionally higher there on the 2-year. Again, I still think the 2 yield wants to set up for 5%. This is kind of a bear pattern here on the note, so that would take your yield up to 5. That's kind of what we're looking for here moving forward. As far as the 10-year, nothing's changed. Nice little pullback pattern, consolidation. That is setting up for a move to 4, and then the 30-year here as well. Not a terrible pattern here. It is a little bit weaker on the long end of the curve as far as the yield, but if you get through 4%, it is up to 4.2. On to housing via the XHB. That finally got up to 78 here, and we're pulling back. So 77.96 was the high, and this is into resistance now. Now it's defied gravity, so I don't want to call anything just yet. But here's your pivot, right, and then your 7.5 retrace, red bar high. That should be resistance. We'll see how it behaves there. Maybe there's some type of end of month rebalancing, stuff like that can take it down. Or maybe it holds up in the end of month, and then you get a rotation at the end of quarter, etc. But either way, that has hit target. ITB, same thing. We talked about 83, and that did actually pull back a little bit off the highs. But again, look at the volume. There's nothing there. This is, not even 1 million shares. So, it doesn't mean we won't get there at the end of the day. But either way, not a great, showing volume-wise. But, it did hit the price target. So we'll see from there. And then VNQ here, nice outside move up 2.5, just under 2.5. So it held the 80 handle. It's still weak. You guys know that. And I'm not in love with it, but it got a nice day today. XLF fractionally, okay, was green. Now it's red, but, not a crazy move here, basically flat. KRE trying to get back above 40. I don't like that. I don't like how you closed below this green bar last week. And it is definitely showing signs of weakness. KBE, same thing, on the weaker side there, although it did get a pop today. And then broker dealers here also green. Remember, held that 20 moving average last week, and it is up about 0.5%. So nothing terrible there for XPD. That can still get to 490 if it shapes up. Over to crude here. So on to energy and commodities. So crude up 0.5%. Nothing going on here. If it breaks that white trend line, it's going lower. I still think it's setting up for a move down. Oh, we'll see what we get. XLE getting a nice bid. Really, all the energy kind of stocks got a bid today. XLE up nicely. The XOP here up almost 2% on the day. OIH was up nicely as well, up 2.59. And even some of the gas plays, LNG. Oh, that was actually negative here, but AR. Let me see, EOG. 2.73 EQT up. So LNG, a little bit of an outlier there. Chesapeake was up. So even the gas place holding up well, but crude itself, I do think, is setting up for a move lower. Nothing's really changed on the XLE or the energy chart. Energy names still looking for a move here down to 70 on XLE, XOP 110, and then OIH is a little bit stronger here, but it needs to get above 280 on a weekly close. Anyways, shifting over to Natty, that's up 2.5 again. That looks like it wants $3. Nice little rounded bottom pattern, and it's continuing after that impulsive move on Friday, so no problems there. Dollar index pulling back a little bit here today. Still struggling with that 103 handle. You get above 103, then you got to get above 103. Really, 103.75 I think is the area. Yeah, so right there, that weekly green bar or red bar rather. You get above that, then maybe you can firm up here. But right now, dollar still under a little bit of pressure. Gold getting a little bit of a bounce here. Nothing great. Still looking for about 1900 on that, and then down to 1850. So nothing to do with that right now. Silver here getting a bounce off the 200. It's holding that for now. We'll look at maybe 2350 here in the near term. But if this sets up sideways, it's going to go through 22 and then down to 21. Platinum here, we talked about 920. That's holding for now. Not the greatest looking bounce here, but we'll see what kind of pattern it puts in. If it consolidates sideways again, then it's going to want to head lower. Palladium here getting a bounce and coming off the highs as well. Not doing anything with that yet. Still watching that one on the radar. Copper pulling in here. Next level is 370. So pretty simple there. Nice rejection on the 100. Follow through Friday and a little bit of follow through today. We'll see. You do have a little bit of a pivot here around 375, I suppose, but 370 is kind of your better, bigger level there in the near term. All right, over to Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin still holding up. This still wants to get to 32.5. So we went into double top, and now we're just consolidating here, flagging. There's nothing wrong with that. 32.5 is still the level. Nothing has really changed there, and I'm going to give that the upside bias for now until proven otherwise. All right, yeah, back over to the spiders here really quick. Market's closing about 10 minutes. Getting a little bit of a dump here. Ooh, take a look at that. Nice little dump here. Russell coming in. Spiders low of the day here. And the Qs here down 1%. 1.18. Tesla new lows of the day. Interesting. So nice little dump there. TSLA down 6%. Wow. So that's going to come into the 20 MA. And you'll have some short-term support at that gap fill. We'll watch that. And your bigger level right down there is going to be around 215. So nice little dump there. Towards the end of the day, let's look at NVIDIA again. Down 3.37 now. That's actually kind of holding up. Apple at the lows today, Microsoft, Google, basically everything we just talked about. XLF, KRE, broker dealers. So interesting little fade there in the last couple minutes. IGV at the lows of the day now. So interesting. A little bit of a dump. We'll see what, I don't want to make too much out of it here. Nice little, I'm not sure if there was news here or anything on the wire right now. But either way, we're still looking for those levels, so I'm glad that happened right now. So we're still looking for these levels, right? So right here, I'll draw them back in for you. Right in that zone. So 4,300, 4,280. Nice little dump here towards the end of the day. Nothing major. Volume's still light, so just be aware of that. But yeah, nice little fade there for the markets today, and we'll see what we get tomorrow. Anyways, guys, gonna wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Talk to you all tomorrow.